Alright guys, in this sketching pad tutorial, we're going to do our starry night sky. And we always start with our background, obviously. You have your two brushes, your big brush and your detail brush. We're going to use our big brush for our background. And this background, since it's so like blendy with their different shades, we're going to I start anyway, with some pink. And I'm gonna put some pink on, and I'm doing almost like little X's or little dashes. And then I'm gonna dip into some of my blue and kind of just let it mix together and make a pretty purple all over my background. There really is no put your blue here, put your pink here. It's just if you want more blue, use more blue. If you want more pink, use more pink. If you want more purple, kind of let them mix together more. Mix in your pink with your blue to make your purple. So you just fill in the whole background. Make sure you don't like clump your paint together. Otherwise it'll never dry. It'll also look kind of weird. Our pinks and our blue are kind of a thin paint. So we may have to do more than one coat, we'll see. And the great thing about the acrylic paint is it dries really fast, but then it's also really easy to layer over. Remember, I'm doing little X's to get that texture going. And I'm just gonna fill my whole canvas with my background. Alright, so I got the whole background in, and then up here it's kind of thin, and it's still damp, but we can still go ahead and go in and do a second coat. so I've got my background pretty much how I want it. And now I'm gonna go dry it under a blow dryer, or you can let it air dry. Make sure you get your permission of your parents before you dry it. We're gonna do that next. And it doesn't have to be completely dry, but a little bit dry. All right, so we got our canvas mostly dry. The next part we're gonna do is our little speckles. And for those, you're gonna take your plate, make sure your brush is rinsed out, and you're gonna take some of your white, doesn't take a whole lot, and a little bit of water, because we're gonna water it down. It's kind of runny. Then we're gonna splatter paint. Now this gets a little messy, so be careful. Now you're done, as you're tapping. Woo. If it doesn't splatter easily, add a little more water to it, but you're gonna take your big brush and tap it on your little brush. I'm not tapping super, super hard. There's no reason for you to make a huge, huge mess. And I'm holding my paintbrush really close to my canvas. And I'm just gonna tap all over to get my stars. All right, so now I've got some stars. If you want to do some more, you can definitely do more, but that is enough for me. And then you want to let this air dry. Don't try blow drying it, otherwise your stars are gonna be shooting stars because they'll smear all over your canvas. So I'm gonna wait for this to dry, and then we'll be back. All right, so now that your stars are all nice and dry, we can go ahead and paint on our moon. And our moon, you're just gonna use white paint. Now you can do a half moon if you want. I'm gonna do a full moon, so all your full moons, decide where you want it to be. And you're gonna do a semicircle and another semicircle and fill it in. Now to get these nice crisp edges, if you kind of lay your brush down till it flattens a little bit and bring it around, you'll get a boom. You can also take a tiny bit of black on your brush with your weight, maybe not quite that much, you can tap a little bit off, but you can put in some little stipples to make it look like it's the actual moon. All right, now for our trees, I'm going to use my little detail brush. I'm just going to use black. And I'm going to do my trees. How I do my trees is I always decide kind of where I want them to be and how tall or how short. And for that, all I do is draw some lines, different heights and different spacing in between. Right, then for the branches part, all you're gonna do, so you're gonna take your brush and you're just gonna do little dashes, need more paint, off of your tree, all the way down. And then at the bottom, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna kind of fill it in more solid like it is on ours, but I wanna get my tree first. So just dashy lines off of your tree. You can also do more like triangles off Your trees can also overlap, that's totally fine. You can also make your trees a little more fluffy. You want them more fluffy. All right, now from there, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go ahead and draw a line and fill that in with some black. Right. And then we got some thin spots, so all I'm gonna do is add some smaller, shorter trees in there. Like that. So some really short trees. I can also fatten out these other trees a little bit if I need to. Especially at the bottom, because they're a little skinny at the bottom. So I'm gonna fatten them out a little bit. And I'm just fluffing them out. Don't worry, all trees are different. So if yours look different than mine, that's totally fine. Mine look a little different from the sample. That's all good. All right, so there is our Starry Sunset tutorial. Y'all obviously take your time. But there we go.